What we're doing today is we're taking user Celegorm's Hostriks Sanctuary map, and we're going to turn it into a ruin. Now, if you yourself have a battle map or a map that you want remade, you can go ahead and just let me know on our Discord server. At the top of the chat, you'll notice that there's a pinned link. That's a invitation to our Discord server. There is a channel there called Map Makeover. If you go ahead and just ping me, that's Mati. If you ping me in the Map Makeover channel, just go ahead and make sure that you have a map that you want to be remade, or if you want me to ruin it, you want me to sink it, like put it underwater, you want me to end it, take a fantasy battle map or world map and then maybe turn it into a sci-fi or post-apocalyptic, or if you want to catch your battle map on fire, like there's a city fire or something, go ahead and let me know. We can do all of those things. Just make sure that you have a published map and that it is clonable, and then that way I can clone that map and then we can use it. Now there is usually a queue when people volunteer for things to have their map in a stream. There's generally a queue, a little lineup, so don't mind if you're in the line a little bit there to wait to have yours done. Hey Becca, glad that you're here. It's Bach. Ah, gotcha. Tomos Bach. Thank you. Botch, my mistake. Another first-time chatter. Hey, Kitokami. Glad that you're here, by the way. Awesome. Okay. So again, we are converting Celegorm's Hostriks Sanctuary into a ruin. Now this is going to be set up into a couple sections. In the first part, what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this map a little bit. As you can see, this is an older map. It predates 2.0, and also it even predates the line and shape tool, I've noticed. So we're going to have to go through and convert things. Now, what's really nice about the 2.0 editor is it's easy to convert these things. We can use the new layer 2.0 as well as this replace asset feature. So it's going to be very helpful for converting some of your older maps. Some of you might have been with Inkarnate for a while, and you're picking it up and you notice that some of your maps are older. This is a great first part of the video to kind of help you guys to figure out how to convert that. So we're going to go over that. First, we're going to do some cleanup in the right layer panel. That's going to be over here in this right layer here. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this layer called title. And you're going to notice there are two object layers. And it looks like this is what happened when it was converted from 1.0 to 2.0. And we don't need to have this stuff on separate layers. So what I'll do is I'll just select all of them. Just start at the top, hold down Shift, click the bottom one, and we'll select all of them. Right click, and then go to Move Layer Object Layer 1. All of the objects that were in this object layer 2 are now in object layer 1. And I'm just going to go ahead and rename this and just call it stamps, because that is where all the stamps are located. Everything is there. Then I'm going to take that second object layer. I'm just going to move it down one and put it above the stamps. I'm going to rename this and call this line and shapes. And the reason why I want to have a separate layer is because I'm going to use the line and shape tool, and I'm going to trace over these buildings right here. So that way I can then, when I'm all done, I can go ahead and delete the individual wall segments, and then I'm going to convert those down we're going to go ahead and just move those back down to the stamp layer. So now that everything's kind of organized, let's also do some other cleanup real quick. That first cleanup is we're going to go ahead and fix the the layer mask. And some of you might not know where the mask effects are in the 2.0 editor. That's just fine. We're going to show you where to find those. If you notice, there's this foreground right here. There's a little shovel right here. If you right click that, you'll see a little cog that says land style. And then there are the mask effects right there. For now, I'm just going to turn them off. Or actually, I'll leave them on for right now, and we'll quickly just clean this up. I'm going to go over here to the land tool, go to subtract, and we're just going to go ahead and just do a little bit of cleanup. We're going to use a regular circle brush. I'm just going to go ahead and remove these parts. I'm leaving the mask effects on because I can easily see the islands a little bit better. That's not a problem. I just want to be able to see those. A little bit of cleanup. Perfect. Now that the cleanup is done, we can just go over back to that land right there, right click, land style, and we're going to turn everything off. We don't need it on for right now. And also, if you have a lower end machine, you'll also notice that the mask effects can kind of also sometimes cause a lag on your machine. So for now, I'll just turn them off. Once we get to another part, like the later parts, when we get to, when we finished most of the map, we'll go back to mask effects and see how we can enhance the map using those mask effects. So we've done the 2.0 update. We've went ahead and organized the right layer panel. And the next step is, why don't we go ahead and do replacing assets? So if I go into the stamp section here, I see that their trees has its own group. Why don't we open up that? Now, as soon as you open up a group, it's going to select everything in the group. And that's perfect because that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I'll go over here to replace asset right here, and then I'll be allowed to go through the catalog and look for an asset to replace it with. Now I'm going to go ahead and just click tree like this, and then you'll see all the assets that you can replace it with. I'm going to go over to this catalog and just go show names. I want to be able to just see everything. It's always nice to know what I'm clicking here. And I'm just going to go ahead and look over the different trees here. There are these summer trees right here. Why don't we use these? Now, as you notice, all the trees get added. Let's go ahead and change the scale a little bit so it's not too big. That looks good. So 2.0 art, perfect. We've added that. Let's go on to our next step. Why don't we go ahead and go over these farmland right here? For now, what I'll do is I think I'll lock that farmland for right now. And maybe I'll even bring the opacity down a little bit, because what I'll do is I'll paint some crops down instead of using stamps. That will keep the stamp load down. So we'll get to that in a little bit. That's good. At least I know where those are, and we'll get to those in a moment. Let's also do some other upgrading. Why don't we take all these tents right here? I'm going to go ahead and just select one tent, select all from this set. So you notice that all the tents are now selected. I go over to replace asset. Let's go ahead and type in tent. There we go. Let's make sure that it's a 2.0 tent. Let's see here. Is that... No, let me go ahead and just show expand all assets. What this will do is it will cause all the assets to expand out. That looks like white tent 2.0. Let's do that right there. Select. There we go. So all the tents are there. Let's scale them down to the right size. That looks about right. Let's look at one of the beds and then look at the tent. That looks good. Let's just scale them up a little bit more. And then I might want to consider rotating them to kind of face the right way. They're all kind of facing in different directions. The door should be facing towards, right? See this wall right here? It would be weird to have the door facing that direction. So I'm just going to rotate each one to make sure the doors are facing to where the road is. That makes sense. There we go. All the tents are facing the right way. We've replaced all those. That looks good. That looks good. Let's go ahead and keep replacing things as need be here. I also see some cliffs right here. Let's go open up the cliffs here. And you know what I'll do here is we'll save this for line and shape. Let's just make sure I can replace stamps. Let's also take all of these beds right here and let's replace those with 2.0. I'm going to select these singular ones, go to replace asset, type in bed. Let's see here. Do I have... Those are whips, so they can't be replaced. Ooh, looks like this is 2.0 right here. Let's show, and then I'll go to singular beds. There we go. Singular beds are updated. Let's click those two. Replace asset. Let's go with the double bed. Those two are replaced. Great. And then I'm just going to do that with every single bed, just to replace every single one of those. So I'll go into each one of these, open them up, and replace it. So I got some beds there. I'll replace that with a double. Oopsie, undo, my mistake. It should have been with a double. There it is. And then these two will replace with singles. So it's super easy to make these changes when you do the replace. So that way it's just easier. That way you don't have to go through the catalog, look for it, and then place them individually. So this replace concept is really, really helpful. Ooh, I noticed I accidentally deleted a tent right there, and that's okay. We'll fix that in a little bit. Let's just get these beds over with here. Let's replace the singles, replace the double. Oh, you've been experiencing some issues with that. Well, let us know in a customer support ticket, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Report any bugs that you see that way, and then we'll look them over for sure. Yeah, if something disappears, then you might want to consider, because something disappeared like that, why don't we try doing a recovery real quick, and we'll see if the recovery will bring that back. So let's just try that real quick. And if recovery fails, then we'll go over some other options. So if I go over here, go to recovery, it's in the 3 bars up here, go to recovery. Just wait a few moments for it to do its recovery. And if that stamp doesn't come back, then you should go ahead and definitely let us know in our customer support. We'll give this a moment to do the recovery. It looks like it came back. See right there? That recovery brought it back. So if ever you have that problem where a stamp disappears like that, just run the recovery feature. Sometimes you have to do it a couple times. Like sometimes you have to do recovery. It didn't work the first time, then do it again. So you might have to do it a couple times. For now, once worked, and that's great. And if it happens again, we'll do that. Let's go ahead and continue replacing things. I think what we should do is we don't have to replace every single thing because some things will be ruined. But for now, I'll just go ahead and replace the major stuff. So let's see here. What do we have? Ooh, this looks like a group. Let's go ahead and replace that fireplace with a new fireplace. I believe that is in... Right, there it is right there. We'll replace that. Great. Stone wall segment. We'll just go ahead and remove that. And then we'll end up removing a lot of these other stamps as well. Okay, let's see here. Oop, I see a... Just going to go over all this stuff here. Oop, this looks like a wall of some kind. There we go. That's fine. Okay, I think we've replaced most of the stuff that we need to replace. We'll go back over it. Let's go ahead and do the line tool stuff, and I'm going to do it on this layer above. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to maintain the shape, and I want to be able to not accidentally select anything else. So I'll go to line and shapes on this layer. I'm going to go over to the shape tool, and I'm going to go over to the pen so I can single click. I'm going to go to stamp, and there should be a wood wall. Type in wood wall into the search bar here. What I'm looking for is the 2.0 version. Let me go to show names. Okay, let me just take a look here. This one right here, let's use this core right here. And I'll go ahead and place it down just to see the scale of it. Let's bring the scale down. Perfect. Okay, now I have the pen. Okay, I have a shape. I have my pen. And I like, by the way, good job on these awesome shapes. These are very unique shapes for the buildings. Most buildings have a lot of 90-degree angles because of its function and stuff, but these buildings are really unique shapes. I actually kind of like them. They look very odd, and I like that. That makes them stick out quite a bit. Hey, first-time chatter, glad that you're here, by the way. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and make these shapes. So I'm going to single-click like this and create the shape. I don't have to make it perfect. I might end up taking some angles and kind of straighten them out a little bit, but for the most part, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go to add, and you'll notice that I have that shape there. I'm just going to go ahead and just bring the scale down a little bit, just like that. There we go. We have that first shape there. That looks good. And the first thing I'll do is I'm just going to favorite this right away. So this way I don't have to keep recreating all the different settings for this. So if I just go click this one right here, go to favorite, and then I go over to my favorites, and there it is right there. And now I have that available to me. So I'll go back, and I'm just going to do it to every single one of these. I'll go ahead and piece these together. There we go. That looks good. I like that shape. Let's go ahead and straighten this out. We'll line it up a little bit more with the cliff. This looks good. Go to add. There you go. And I'm going to do it to every single one. Cool. Very cool shapes, by the way. So unique. Very different from the other buildings. Even from buildings I make. All my buildings are like 90-degree angles. So it's actually really cool to see these different building shapes. We'll add that. Some of you notice that it is above the trees. Remember, we're doing it on this separate layer above so that way we can just go right over the shape, trace over the shapes. Let me do all the wooden ones first. Yep, they're all done. And now there's this stone shape right here. So let's go back into the catalog here. We'll just type in stone. And we're going to try to look for the newer stone one instead of the 1.0. There's this standing stone one. There's concrete. Let's use this stone wall, the castle one. I think this looks pretty good. Let me just make sure there's nothing. Oh, let's use this one. 2.0 stone wall. That's perfect. Let's use that. I'm also going to favorite it right away. So there it is. And I'm just going to go ahead and piece these together like this. There we go. That looks good. Okay. Go add. There we go. So now we have those pieces done. I see a couple more things that we can do for shapes. For starters, we can create the cliffs right here. So let's go back into that catalog and type in cliff. And we'll use some new stamps. The ones that were used here, these are a little bit older. Why don't we use some newer stamps, like, for instance, maybe this mossy, jagged slope right here. I noticed that these stamps right here have the illusion of a slope because of how wide they are. So let's try to stick to what the original user was trying to add to that. So let's go ahead and go with mossy, jagged slope. And then from here, what I'll do is I'll just go like this. And we're going to use the line tool for that. Now, what's really cool is that if you use a shape that has a certain stroke and you switch over to the line tool, it will automatically give you that same one for the stroke there. So that's going to be very helpful. And then I'm going to use the pen again to get those angles right. And just kind of a heads up, if you want to have more curve, use more nodes. And nodes are those little dots that you see on the line right there. So I'm going to go ahead and use these to create these kind of nodes right here. There's the shape there. It looks like it's facing the wrong way. So why don't we flip this the other way? Go flip stroke vertically. That looks good. Okay. And I'm also going to favorite that. So now I have that available to me. And I'm going to do that with everything here. Let's go ahead and put another one here. Just like that. I think it's facing the right way. There seems to be another one right here. And we'll change the size in just a moment. Let's just first get all the shapes there. Let's go this one here as well. Looks like it goes, loops a little bit this way and goes off screen a little bit. That looks good. I think we're going to have to flip that. There we go. That looks good. Let's also do this one as well. We'll go ahead and just go in like this and give it a little bit of a slope. We'll flip that around. That looks good. Oh, I think it's the other way, actually. That looks good. Let me see. What else do we have? Oh, we also have a slope right here. Let's add that. There we go. That looks good. Okay. All right. And then we're also going to create, looks like there are these kind of platforms. These are either it's either a retaining wall of some kind, or it's like a stone fence. So we can just go back right here to our line tool, just select that original stone wall. I'm going to go up one layer so it's above it. And I'll go ahead and just kind of follow along the wall there. There we go. This looks good. Just like that. That looks good. Looks like there's another retaining wall right here. That looks good. It goes all off screen. That works just fine. Same thing here. We're going to add all these retaining walls. I see there's a little entrance right there. Let's keep that. There we go. That looks good. Trying to make sure, where else do we have any other retaining wall? Oh, I see a little bit of retaining wall right there, but we don't really need it right there. I think it's okay. Let me just take a look at it. This looks good. Let's go back to stamps real quick. And what I'll do here is, I think I will remove, if I remove the, you know what? Let's go ahead and add the inner walls as well. Go back to line real quick. Let's do this right here. Let's go ahead and bring the scale down a little bit smaller and favorite this. We'll have the interior walls be a bit smaller. So I'll go ahead and create these lines here, and we'll connect these together like that. And then we'll make changes as we need. Let's go ahead and add that there. This looks like, let's see, is that another door? That looks like a door, so there's an inner wall there. That looks good. Looks like there's a wall here. Let's go ahead and change this up just to make it a little bit more, to fit a little bit better. Let's go ahead and line this up to expand the door, add a little bit of room so we can put stuff inside of there. I see there's another interesting split room right here. Why don't we do it like this instead? Create a T shape. Let me see here. Okay, I'm going to reorganize this room all together. So we'll change this all together. I'm going to go ahead and split the room in half like this. And then I'll split down the center like this. There we go. I think that will be a little bit more utility. That looks good. Okay, let me go back here. No walls in this one, and there are walls on this, inner walls on this one. So let's go ahead and add those pieces here. Let's go ahead and create one there, and then we'll create the other one right here like this. That looks good. Okay, now that that's set, that looks a lot better. Okay, cool. All right, I just didn't want to destroy anything without first getting it set up right. So next, I'll just go ahead and remove these pieces. So we don't need the interior stuff anymore because we're going to end up ruining it and replacing it with other stuff. So it's okay if we remove those things. Let's go ahead and remove that. There we go. Let me just make sure that I got everything. Remove that. Remove that. There we go. Okay. Let me make sure. What else do I have here? Remove that. That looks good. Okay. Just checking to make sure I have everything. Oopsie, did I put this? Oh, no, I got that right. There we go. Delete that. Okay. We're getting there. Okay. And then we're going to lock the trees. There. Let's go ahead and move them to the highest layer as well. There we go. Trees are at the highest layer. They should be above everything else, of course. Okay. All right. Let's also remove some stuff here. I removed that. That looks good. Okay, cool. All right. Now I think I should be able to take all the lines and shapes like this. I'm just going to go ahead and select all of them and then move to layer stamps. And now they should be on this stamp layer right here. This looks good. Let me just take a look at everything. This looks good. Line and stamps. Now, if you want to select a specific thing, I can go over to select up here at the top. I'm going to turn all so they're all unselected. Then I can go ahead and select line, and it will only let me select lines. Oops, I see there's also a cliff right there as well. Let me see if I can find that. Where is our... There should be a cliff section. Let me just type in cliffs real quick. There they are. Cliff, cliff, delete that. Perfect. Oop, there's another one. Is it this one as well? There we go. Cool. All right, that looks good. All right, cool. That looks good. Let's go ahead and redo that. Redo this real quick. Let's go right about there. That looks good. Let's push it down a layer. We're going to bring the scale down a little bit as well. There we go. That looks a little better. Is it facing the wrong way? It might be. Let me flip it real quick. Nope, this is the right way. There we go. Let's go ahead and place a little bit of a cliff there. That looks good. Let's go ahead and rotate it just a little bit more. I want to make sure that it fits nicely. That looks good. This one too, right here. Why don't we adjust this real quick? Okay, this creates a little bit of a cliff here. Why don't we expand this a little bit? Why don't we expand this cliff? Let's have it wrap around this way. This will give it a little bit sense of more depth. Like this is a much larger structure than a tent. So then why don't we, to make this structure stand out from the other structures, we'll put it up on a cliff of some kind. So that will look a lot better. That looks good. And then why don't we also, let's take a look at this cliff right here. Let's push this down a layer. There we go. We'll push it right up against here like this. That looks good. Okay. All right. And then let's go ahead and fix some last pieces here. I'm going to go ahead and remove the boat. I'm going to remove these. This whole thing isn't needed. We can go ahead and just remove that. That looks good. Ooh, I see some more tents disappeared. If that happens, remember, run the recovery feature. So we'll run recovery again. And the reason why I recommend a recovery is because if you end up replacing them, like if you copy and paste the tent and then rotate it and put it there, the next time you open the map, if you leave and then open the map again, it might have the two stamps there twice. So a recovery is always a good choice, just to let you know. Because again, if you try to replace it, you might have two there at the same time. So just kind of a heads up. And usually what I will do is, instead of doing recovery like 50 times, at the end, when I finish saving the map and I finished it, I'll run a last minute recovery just to make sure that everything is there. So just kind of a thing that you can kind of do to help yourself out there. Okay, let's go ahead and remove these other wall pieces. I just want to make sure that I have everything removed. There we go. That looks good. Let's go ahead and remove that furniture there. We don't need that. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste the tent right here like this, and I'll push this down a layer. There we go. I'm seeing some stamps here. Let's go ahead and take this tree right here. Let's replace this. Oops, let me get that tree. Is it a group? Oops, it's a group. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and remove the roses, and we'll see. Let's keep the roses. Let's replace the central tree with a 2.0 tree, or maybe there's an apple tree. I'm not sure. Just roses on that tree for a reason. So that's important. So let's just type in tree. Let's go with the 2.0 art. Perfect. That's about the right size. Looks good. I'm not sure if we have new 2.0 roses released yet. Let's see here. Core. They do have it. Great. Cool. Let's go ahead and just select all of these. And then we'll go to replace fresh roses. It should replace them. Oh, did it not work? Let's try it again. See, it did that thing again. This is why sometimes I recommend, well, what you might want to consider doing, because it's happening more often. Another user mentioned earlier, if you just save and then refresh the page, and we'll end up doing that. First, we'll go ahead and run recovery again, and then I'll quickly save, and then I will, yep, there we go. So the roses worked. Let's go ahead and just save manually real quick, and then I'll refresh the page, and then we'll continue. So it doesn't take, you should notice it doesn't take very long to kind of replace everything when you have the replace option and the line and shape tools. And I recommend the line and shape tools specifically when you're ruining your map, because the line and shape tool has things like the portals, and it also has nodes. And those are going to be really helpful when you want to create non-destructive breaks in the wall. That way you can replace with rubble. And we're almost to that phase. It took a little bit longer than I thought to actually put it together. I thought it was only going to take like 10, 15. Looks like it took about 20, and that's okay. It's good to know how to convert your older maps. That's important. Okay, where are we at? Time 30. Okay. All right, everything's been put together. That looks good. Okay. Now, when you are deciding to put together your rubble, and what I want to do is I'll do some cleanup with these textures in a little bit, but let's talk about how to do the ruin part. And this part's kind of fun. The easiest stuff that you can do is you can replace these tents with a broken tent. So I can type in tent like this, and you'll notice that there are broken tents. Let's go ahead and expand all assets. And there should be some broken tents in here. Here's this large tent here. Here's one right here. Is there a broken one? Let's see here, 2.0. I think, let's use this small tent torn. This will work just fine. Let's use this one. I'm just going to place that on the ground right there. I'm going to do a couple things to it. I'm going to rescale, change things a little bit just to kind of fit the right size. So I'll change the width a little bit. There we go. And then I'll go ahead now and just kind of delete a couple tents. So we'll do the first one here, copy, paste. Let's put another one here. So a couple broken ones, just so they're not exactly the same. I'll rotate it. That way they're off a little bit. There we go. Go like this. I'm not replacing assets because I don't want to deal with that bug. So I'm going to just replace them manually. Since it's already there, it will work just as fine. So I'll go ahead and kind of replace these real quick. That looks good. Some broken stamps there. That looks good. And then we'll go back to that in a minute. Let's also go over here. Let me show you how exactly I would go breaking the wall. And what I would start first is when you're breaking stamps, I would first also break the outer walls. So what you would do is you can go to the shape tool, then go over here to portals. That's the very last option at the bottom. And what a portal is going to do is it's going to create a non-destructive break. So if I want, I can break this wall right here. Now, when I am breaking my buildings, what I'll do is I'll have one giant section that's missing. This way it's nice and open and it's wide so that all the players can go into the building on this side at once. And then what I'll also do is I'll also break corners. Sometimes I'll break a corner like this. And then sometimes I'll create several breaks. Like for starters, I'll create a break here. And that way you have a little opening here and a break here. So you have a kind of a isolated wall section right here, which is kind of nice. Let's go ahead and do this to all of our outer walls. So let's go ahead and create another one right here. Let's also maybe create a little break right here. So there's a little bit of a corner piece that's isolated here. That looks good. And since this goes nowhere, I won't break a wall over here. And then I'll also break a wall here. Let's go ahead and leave a corner open here. Let's leave another one here. Let's go ahead and go all the way to the corner here. Just like that. That looks good. So that corner is open. And let's put another break right there like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and add some more breaks. Let's put one here, here. And when you do have smaller segments, don't have them all the same. Notice that this segment and this segment right here are relatively the same size. Don't do that. Have a giant opening like this, and then have each one of those isolated segments be of different sizes. That way it'll kind of have a more natural, destructed look to it. So same thing here. I'll go ahead and put one here like that. Same thing here. Let's go ahead and break some spots. Break one there, break one here. Let's go ahead and break that. Make it a little bit opening, a little bit bigger. Let's break one right there as well. Let's take out a corner. There we go. There we go. That looks good. And they'll do the same thing to this one as well. Let's go ahead and break this up. And then let's have a isolated piece right here like this. There we go. Okay. So now that we've done the breaking part, let's also do, for the exterior part, let's break the interior part of the walls as well. So let's go back to portals with the line tool. And I'm either creating a doorway or I'm breaking the wall. Why don't we do the same thing? We'll follow the same logic. Let's have a broken type of corner here. Let's put a section here. Let's go ahead and break one here as well. So we have some broken sections there. Same thing here. We need to put a door in here. Let's go ahead and break some of these segments and also put a door in there like that. That looks good. And then let's also break these a little bit. That looks good. Those are broken. Okay, that looks good. All right. Now, once you've done this next step of breaking the walls, you need to, where did those sections of the wall come from? So normally what you should do is, if it's like a stone building, then you need some rubble that maybe is on the ground representing where that fell. So let's go into the catalog and type in rubble. I don't think there is any 2.0 rubble right now. I think all the rubble is 1.0, and that's okay. So we'll do some adjusting. If you look carefully at this stamp and then you look at the wall, you'll notice that they are drastically different from each other. So let's make some adjustments. Let's maybe bring the saturation all the way to 0. Let's bring the contrast down and bring the brightness up a little bit. Let's also turn the shadows off. And let's see, let me go ahead and also, the hue seems a little off. Let me bring the saturation up a little bit. There we go, a little bit of color to it. There we go, that looks good. Let's go ahead and bring it down a layer. There we go. And so now you have this broken. Now this means if you have the rubble going this way, the wall collapsed outward. If you wanted to show that the wall collapsed inward, put the rubble going inward, okay? Or maybe one section fell forward, one fell back, whatever you want. I think what we should do is have the rubble going inward. So I'll put a little bit of rubble there. And in fact, just to have a little bit more, look, we'll use a larger one like this. I'll push this down a layer. I want it to be beneath the wall. And then I'll take this piece right here. And now I have some rubble that fell down there. Let's also add in some more. There's some rubble right here as well. Let's have it maybe fell this way. That looks good. And then we want to do the same thing with the wooden walls. And this one's a different. Let's actually finish real quick. Let's finish the rubble real quick. Let's, you notice that the ends of the walls have caps on them and they look a little weird, right? You wouldn't have a flat end right here. You'd have some rubble on the end here. So there's this rubble ends right here. Let's use that. And just like before, we're going to change the brightness, the saturation, bring the contrast down a little bit, and turn the shadow off. And I'm going to go ahead and put this up a layer, and I'll go ahead and place that right on that end, just like that. There we go. Let's go ahead and scale it so it fits. So now I have some rubble on that end right there. Great. Same thing here. Let's put another one on this end right here. That looks better. Same thing here. Let's put some rubble on the end of this one. And the same for this one here like this. There we go. And just to show that there's a height difference, why don't we make the rubble bits a little bit darker than the wall segments, so that that way it looks like a very distinguished difference between rock that's on the ground and the wall that would be higher up. So the walls are lighter while the rubble on the ground is darker. Okay, so you get the general idea on kind of how to put that together, on how to put together your rubble. Let's also go here. We're going to do the same thing. We want to show that a wall is broken, and there's a couple approaches that we could do to that. One, we could just take the line tool like this, go to the pen, stroke, and type in wood wall, and then there should be some broken wall sections. Let me go ahead and just expand or show names real quick. Let's see here if there's any broken wall segments that we could use. I see wall segments here, but they're not really splintered very well. So I don't think those are going to work. So we're going to do something different instead then. And that's okay. What we'll end up doing instead is we'll take these wooden rubble gaps and we'll go ahead and place these just right on top. Like, let's go ahead and turn the shadow off here. I'm going to go ahead and place these on the end here, and it's going to look like the wood has kind of collapsed and fallen apart. So we'll go ahead and put these on the ends like this. Oops, I keep forgetting to turn the shadow off. No, there we go. And then we'll put stuff on the ground in just a moment. First, we'll put together all these broken pieces that we want. So put one right here. Let's go right here like this. Actually, I think the other way might work better. That looks good. That looks good. Yep, I like that. Let's line these up properly. There we go. I'm going to do it to every single one. Let's do an exterior wall, interior. There we go. This looks good. And we'll do all the texturing to finish this up. This looks good. Line that up properly. That looks good. Those are breaks. Let's go ahead and put another break. I think this part is a break. And then let's use a smaller one. Let's use this one. Let's face it this way. There we go. That looks good. Okay, that looks good. Oh, yep, here are some other spots right here. Let's do that. Here. Let's put another one right here like this. This longer one looks good right there. And why don't we go ahead and make it look like it broke and snapped right there. That looks good. Let's go ahead and put a longer one again right here like this. Hey, first-time Shadow Warlock. Yeah, we totally have a Twitch channel, and we add every one of these videos to the YouTube channel as well. So if you missed it, don't worry, you can catch it on our YouTube channel. And oh, also update on tutorials. A lot of people have been asking for official tutorials. We are working on those. We're just not adding them yet, but we will. So if people have any trouble with figuring out the tool, we're going to have those available relatively soon. So I'm really excited about having those released. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and place a couple more. They're all on this angle, so let's go ahead and put one maybe right here like this, just to show this kind of broken section right here. That looks good. Okay. All right. Let's go now ahead and add the rubble parts. There's these wooden rubble piles right here. Again, these rubble piles do not have... well, save questions for the end, Warlock. Save them for the end. I'll answer any questions that you have at the end. We'll do a Q&A. So now I'll go ahead and take this rubble right here. I'm going to turn the shadow off. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's around the same kind of brightness as the broken rubble on the walls there. Let's maybe bring the brightness down just a little bit more. There we go. And I'll go ahead and place these where maybe where a wall collapsed. Let's go ahead and try using this one instead. This might work better. Let's have it facing this way like that. That looks good. Okay. Let's go ahead and put these together. That looks good. Let's go ahead and place another one right here like this. That looks good. And we're just going to place these where I want there to be rubble piles. Like maybe I'll put one right there as well. Let's go put another one right here, like this. Let's flip it. No, actually, this looks good. Let's do it just like this. There you go. Let's put another rubble pile going outward like this. That looks good. Okay. I'm just going to keep adding more and more rubble. Remember, where did these wall pieces, where did the rubble come, where did the wall go, right? It would be weird if you had all these openings in the walls, but we don't know where the wood for that came from. So whenever you break a wall, you always should be adding some kind of rubble or something where the wall is supposed to be. Otherwise, it's going to look a little odd. There we go. That looks good. Okay. All right, let's take a step back. Hey, Andrew, glad that you're here. Let me just take a step back. Okay, yeah, the ruins are coming together good. That looks good. Okay, well, we're getting there. We're going to get to the last bit, which is going to be, we're going to be throwing in some details here. Let's go ahead and clean up some of our, we're going to end up cleaning up in here a little bit. Let's see here. Why don't we pick a base texture? I'm not sure if this is the 1.0 or 2.0 wood. Let's go type in wood in the catalog. Let's see here. Let's go expand to show all names. Here we go. There's some wood there. That's a whip. I don't want to use whips. Also a whip. Core, floor. Perfect. And it's the broken kind too as well. That's great. That works out great. Let's go ahead and just paint in these sections here. Let's go ahead and use foreground layer. I'm just going to paint this in. Don't worry about the direction quite yet. In fact, yeah, let's do that actually. Let's see here. Quick thing I want to recommend is that to show better depth, your base texture should be darker than the wall asset. So you notice how the wall asset is lighter. Why don't we bring the brightness down a little bit more? And then when I paint this on here, you'll see the difference, that the wall starts to pop out a little bit more because I'm using contrast, dark versus light, to make it pop out. So see how I'm using this darker texture here? And it causes the wall to pop out more. So it's kind of a nice trick there. Let's rotate it. And since there's a different room right there, let's change the direction of the grain of the wood. Same thing here. Let's rotate this again. Let's face it this way. It's okay if it overlaps outside. Right now, I'm just kind of getting the base texture that I want. That looks good. Let's do this one as well. See how there's multiple. Good job, by the way, for the original creator, putting the grain in different directions. That's good. That helps quite a bit. Whenever you want to show a different room, changing the grain direction is a great way to do that. So we'll just do this a couple times. We'll have grain going that way. That looks good. Let's do this one again, going this way. And then we'll do it again, going this way. That looks good. There we go. Looks good. Let's do this one as well. Let's make sure it's facing in the right direction. We'll rotate it. I'm trying to keep to the original map. I don't want to go too far, changing it too much. I'm trying to stick to the spirit of the original map. There we go. We'll paint that in. And I think this one, let's use this direction. There you go. That looks good. Okay. And then I see there's another wood floor here. There should be core 2.0. Yeah, this will work just fine. Let's go ahead and paint that in. There we go. Looks good. Okay. Now that we painted that in, I see kind of a ruined wall right here. Let's go ahead and move that over to here. Let's continue adding a couple more here. Let's put some ruins here. Another one right here, like this should look good. Put another one right here, like this. That looks good. Okay, I want to make sure that I have it all. Keep going. Okay, let's go ahead and take a step back and look at it. It's always good to always take a step back just to see how things are turning out. And overall, I think we're doing pretty well. I like overall direction, but the thing what we're missing is a lot of the details. Like there should be a lot of rubble and stuff all over the ground because you would expect things to be really ruined. And that's the part we'll go to next. We'll go ahead and start ruining things a little bit more. If we type in rubble in the catalog, you notice there's this stone rubble right here. Let's make sure that we change the scale to match with maybe the same rubble size here. Let's maybe scale up. Let's see what the rubble size is. I think that's about the right size. That looks good. Hey, first time chatter. Hey, a raid. Thank you, Venetrix Rose. Thank you. Appreciate you raiding. All right, so now that I have that texture, I'll go ahead and bring the opacity down. Hey, another raider. Hey, Sniper Gecko. Hey, Celegorm Myth. I think you're the original creator of the map. All right, let's go ahead and paint this. So when you're doing painting, I want to show some cool brushes here. We have a lot of brushes here, and we'll do an official video where we'll cover every single brush and what they're good for. That will be an official stream and video for another date, but we'll go over every single one of them, what to use them for in detail. That'll be great. Let's go ahead and use this dirt right here, and I'm going to bring the opacity down to about 30 or 40 or so. And wherever you see dirt, wherever you see the rubble, just go ahead and paint in some of that rubble. So you just start painting it in, just like this. And what this does is it kind of blends in the rubble that you have from the wood, and it blends that together. You see, it's kind of blending that stuff together. So it's nicely, it comes together like that. Same thing here. Wherever you see a broken segment, just start single clicking with your mouse and your dirt brush at about 30 or 40%, and just start painting in the rubble here. There you go. See how that blends in so nicely? Really works out well. Same thing here. We'll go over here, do it again. Start blending it in. Let's make a little trail that kind of goes over to there. Let's build another one that kind of goes over to here. Really get the blend in there. Same thing here. We'll even put in some wood. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll just quickly clean that up right there. Let's go ahead and take our grass texture. Let's use the 2.0 grass. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and paint that in right there. Just kind of get that out of the way. Go back to our rubble here. There we go. Paint that rubble all along here as well. You can see wherever there's rubble. Let's take a step back. See if I missed anything. Oop, I missed this one. There we go. That looks good. Some rubble there. That looks good. Just gonna paint it right in there. Let's go put a little bit more here, a little bit more here. Ooh, definitely right here because it's kind of cut off in a weird way. There we go. That looks good. Okay. All right. So now you see the rubble parts. They worked out really well. The other part you should do too is, you notice how that did a lot of heavy lifting for us. It put little artifacts and little pieces of wood and rock, and that does a lot heavy lifting for us. Now we don't have to place individual rocks and wood, but we will put some wood sections in because it always looks nice to add in little wooden sections. So let's type in this rubble right here, wooden walls broken. Let's go ahead and use this. This is perfect. I'll go up a layer. I'm going to go ahead and set to random stamp and random rotation. So now what I do is when I single click, it'll randomize the stamp and the rotation so it's not the same. What I'll also do is just make some slight adjustments. I'll bring the brightness down a little bit, desaturate, and bring the contrast down just a hair. And then what I'll do is I'll start placing these pieces, just single click, just start placing these. And remember, the best place to place these is just right where you see the wood, right? So I'll go ahead and just place these single clicks like this, and just kind of single click, and this will create the extra little bit of rubble. And I made it a little bit lighter so that it will pop out from the darker wood. See how these stamps are a lighter texture than the wood beneath it? It will cause those little chunks of wood, those little pieces of slivers of wood to pop out more. So that works out really well. So wherever I have a pile, just kind of place them there. Maybe make a little trail that goes here. Wherever you see weird breaks, like here's a weird break right here. Why don't we place a couple in here like this? There we go. That looks good. Single click a little bit here. That looks good. Let's go ahead and place it right here. See how this kind of cuts off abruptly? Let's go ahead and place a couple there. That'll work really well. Okay, this looks good. It's coming together. Let's go ahead and just add a couple more in here. There we go. I think all of that looks really, really good. Let's go ahead and just take a step back and just see how it looks. Yeah, overall, I'd say this is coming along really, really well. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do some texture blending. So for starters, you're going to notice that these cliffs right here, they seem to kind of, there's no transition between the cliff and the grass texture itself. Why don't we go ahead and blend those together a little bit? So if we type in terrain like this, this terrain texture right here is meant to kind of match a little bit with this right here. So this one right here, it's called mossy stones. This one might work well, or this mossy rock. Both work well. But let me go ahead and just apply a little bit like this. Let me go up to 100% opacity. And I'll just go ahead and place a little bit of this texture along this edge here. And what we're doing is we're just trying to blend this in. Let's turn the opacity down just a little bit, go 50. And what I'm trying to do is just kind of blend in the cliffs a little bit to kind of match in with the terrain. Let's go ahead and blend that in. I'm going to do that to every single one of them. I see a little bit of terrain here. Why don't we kind of just blend that in just a little bit? Like this. There should be some more here. Let's go ahead and blend that in just a little bit. Blend it right in. But to be careful not to overlap into here. See how I overlap? Don't overlap into the inside there. We'll go ahead and create some more cliff here. So kind of nice to have a little bit of a transition between your terrain stamps and then the terrain textures underneath. And this is kind of a great way to do that. I'm going to switch over to my pen real quick because pen supports pen pressure, and I can do the smaller little clicks to cause a little bit smoother transition. A little bit of a smoother transition there. I see a little bit here as well. Let's go ahead and do this one. There we go. Get a smooth, nice smooth transition there. This one as well. Create a little bit of transition here. That looks good. Yeah, go over this a little bit. That looks good. A little bit here. There we go. Okay, we'll take a step back. Any other cliffs that I missed? Oh, there's a cliff right there. Let's go do that one. Go ahead and just fill these in. Get that right texture going there. That looks good. Much better. Okay, all right. That looks good. Let's go ahead and remove our crops. Let me go see if I can find crops here. Farm must be it. Farm. Ooh, it's a farm, not what that is. Farmland, there it is. Let's go ahead and remove that. There we go, that looks good. And then we'll repaint them in with a different texture. Let's go ahead and use our new grass texture here. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring the scale down a little bit. I'm gonna kind of fill in the negative grass sections with the new grass texture. Don't have to fill it all in. I'm just gonna replace a lot of the negative space. That's open space where you see the grass. So I'll just go ahead and just fill in those little spots with a little bit of the new grass, the 2.0 grass. Trying to, again, I want to stick to the spirit of the original map without having to change things too much. So I'm just replacing a little bit of the new art. We'll go ahead and replace this. Let's go ahead and replace that. And then we'll go paint in some new crops. And I believe there should be some crops textures that we can use for that. Let me go ahead and type this in here or put this in here, this one. There we go. That looks a little better. Fill in that spot, that one there. Great, cool. There we go. Let's take a step back and look at it. Cool. Let's actually fill in these spots as well. And we'll put a different texture underneath. Those are really dark. And so they kind of contrast a little bit. And there's nothing really wrong with that, but it's a little too dark for my personal taste. So what I'll do is I'll paint a dirt texture to go underneath. So I'll replace all of this with a dirt texture. I think it would work better than this dark brown. This is just my personal opinion. It's not necessarily a right or wrong issue here. So to the original user, nothing was done wrong here. Just to make that clear. We're just going to do it a different way. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. All right, let's take a step back and look at it. Yeah, so far this looks good. I want to make sure that I just removed a lot of those darker shadows there. Let's go ahead and use a dirt texture instead, because when you have when there's a lot of walking and moving around, the grass gets, torn up, tufts come out, things like that. So throwing in a dirt texture to show where there's a lot of foot traffic is a great idea. There's this dry mud from jungle, but why don't we just type in dirt and just take a look at if there's a 2.0 dirt here, core 2.0. Let's use this one right here. Core 2.0, let's use this. We're going to bring the opacity down. And then wherever I had those tents, I'm going to go ahead and paint some of that brown dirt just right underneath of it, just like that. Bring the opacity up just a little bit more. And of course, I'm using a dirt texture, so I'm also using a dirt brush to kind of help as well. So I'll go put that dirt just wherever you see a tent. If you've ever been camping before and you look at your tent platform or your tent table or wherever you're placing your tent, it's usually on a flat spot where there isn't a lot of grass. It's usually got dirt, right? It's kind of a flat section. Same thing when you're doing a real tent. And also brown works really well because brown and green go well. Brown is kind of a neutral color. It's also a warm color, so it's going to contrast against a green color, which is a cool color, right? So brown, because it has a little bit of red in it, it's a warmer color. Green is a cooler color. So when you add green and brown colors together, they contrast together when it comes to warm and cool colors, causing those sections to pop out more. And if you see in nature, there's dirt and grass everywhere, right? So it looks rather good when you do that. Now, there's some other places that we might want to consider adding dirt to, and that is just right outside where your buildings are. It doesn't hurt to throw down just a little bit of dirt wherever your buildings are. And this can kind of represent kind of the dirt around the structure. But here, and you can also, don't be afraid to put a little bit of dirt in the sections that broke. So you see there's a broken spot there. Have some dirt going in a little bit. Throw a little bit of dirt on the inside as well to show that ruined look, right? So along here, I'll throw in some dirt just to give it a more ruinous look. Same thing here. I'll throw a little bit of dirt in here. Wherever you have a broken section, wherever you have some negative space, go ahead and put a little bit of dirt on there. Same thing here. Let's go put a little bit of dirt on this section and then put it in here. Same thing here. We'll put a little bit of dirt on the inside. We don't want it to be super clean and nice. Remember, we're ruining it. So we'll go ahead and do that. That looks good. Let's go ahead and continue adding just a little bit more. And then we'll also create a little bit of a path as well, like this, and a little path that kind of leads to each tent as well. Let's create a little dirt path that goes along here like this. That looks good. And then that dirt path can kind of go up into here like that. That looks good. We'll put a little bit of dirt around the fire pit, as you would expect. And then we'll have that dirt road go over to here as well. There we go. We are going to add shade. Don't worry, we're going to get to that. Where are we at for time here? Oh, 40. I don't mind going over. It's okay. I don't want to do a part 2, so we're just going to finish the whole thing here, and we're not far from done anyway. We need to do a couple more things. We want to create this sense of depth, and we're going to use shadows to do that, and I want to replace a couple more assets. Like, I've noticed that this campfire right here is 1.0. Let's go switch to campfire and find the 2.0 campfire right here. Campfire lit, and we'll go ahead and place that right there. That looks good. Okay, what is this stamp right here? I'm not sure what this is. Oh, these are all lights. We'll go ahead and delete these lights. We don't need them for the time being. There we go. So now we have a camp set up there. That looks good. Rubble's there. Let's go ahead now and start to get some shadow and oh, one thing. I forgot the crops. Let's go ahead and throw in some kind of crop of some kind. And I see there's already dry farmland. Why don't we use this? Oh, that's a whip. My bad. There's also a whip. Let me type in crop and see if there's any that aren't 2.0. Tilled land. Let's go with, what's this one? Let's go with this tilled land right here. This will work fine. Let me get the scale right first. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my rotations first. Let's get the scale right. That looks good. And I'll go ahead and paint in my first crop like this. And I want it to kind of show like it's kind of dilapidated, so I'll have like sections of it kind of broken off. Some sections be darker and lighter than the other. And then I'll go over to my rotation and we'll add another crop. We'll line it up this way, put it right here like this. Make sure we line it up. We'll do some single clicks and kind of just make sections of it. Because remember, it's a ruined, it's no longer working properly, so we're going to just make it really odd. Let's go ahead and do another one. Let's do rotation. Let's have this one going this way maybe. Like this. That looks good. Some single clicks. Yep, there we go. Okay. Let me just take a step back and just see how those crops turned out. Yeah, they did just fine. These are great. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do the depth thing. So there's a couple approaches to depth. The first thing I'm going to want to do is I want to have my walls pop out a little bit more. So I'm going to go to my select tool. We just press the V key. I'm going to go to all, so that way nothing can get selected. And then I'm going to go over to my shapes. And then what I'll be able to do here is I'm going to select all of my shapes. From here, I'm going to go up to advanced options. It's going to say shadow. Let's click shadow. I'm going to push this to the side a little bit so I can see it better. And let's go ahead and center the shadows with 0 offset. I'm going to bring the intensity up. See, when I bring the intensity up, it causes the shadows to get a little bit darker, causing the walls to pop out more. So you notice how those outer walls have that dark shadow there? Already you notice that it starts to cause this sense of depth. So let's go do that next step. Let's go ahead and select all the lines, and we'll do the same thing. We'll go ahead and select all the lines. And in fact, what we'll do is we'll take our cliffs. I'm going to lock those. There's no need to add shadows to those yet. And I'm going to lock these stone walls because we're going to do something different with the object shadows to show a retaining wall. So instead, we'll go ahead and select all of our inner wooden walls, and we'll do the exact same thing. We'll go to shadows, and we're going to make sure that those sections pop out quite a bit. So I'll bring that intensity up. I'm going to zoom in so I can kind of see it in action as I'm doing it. So we'll go back here. Let's go ahead and bring the scale of the shadow down a little bit. There we go. Bring the intensity up a little bit more. There we go. So now we have some dark shadows that's going to cause those walls to pop out. Step 1. Great. So we've done that. What about this next step? I want to take each one of these retaining walls and I want to show it to where it's a retaining wall, right? One side of the wall will have a shadow while the other side of the wall will be flat on the top. And so it should cast a shadow. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to select this individual wall, and it looks like there's a cliff on the south side or the bottom part. So the shadow should be going that way. So what I'll do is I'll go into the catalog here. Let's scale out so I can see. I'm going to go ahead and just close this so I can see it better. We're going to go to shadows, and we're actually going to use the vertical offsets to get the shadow to work right. So let's go with vertical here. Let's go with horizontal offset here. You notice that the shadow is a little thick. That's okay. Let's bring the intensity down a little bit. Let's bring the vertical up a little bit. And what you've done now is you've created this illusion of depth on this side. So you have a retaining wall, and so you'll have a shadow all along this edge right here, making it look like the top part of it is flush with the ground. See? So you're using the offsets to create a shadow to make it look like it's popping out a little bit. So let's do that for every single one of those. This one also has a shadow. Let's go ahead and create that shadow. Let's bring the offset down a little bit. Let's bring it this way just a little bit. We'll bring the intensity down. And that looks about right. Same thing here. We'll go ahead and do these exact same ones. It looks like the shadow is going on the other side. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do another shadow here. Bring the scale down. A little too intense. Let's offset a little bit this way. Offset, bring it this way a little bit. There we go. There we go. So let's see here. I think that is all of the retaining walls. Let's do the cliffs now. Now, cliffs are a different beast. Because these cliffs have a slope, it wouldn't make much sense to use an object shadow. In fact, let me just show it to you so you can see for yourself the problem with using a shadow for this cliff right here. So this is a cool little test. Why don't we go back all here? I'm going to go ahead and deselect all these walls. Because there's a slope, the shadow would be on the cliff as well as at the base of the cliff. So let me add an object shadow to show you the problem that you're going to bump into when you do this. Let's go to shadow, and then I'll offset it. And let's see if I can do the same retaining wall trick and see if it'll work or not. If I move it this way, you'll notice that the shadow makes it look like the cliff is, the drop off is at the bottom, when instead that's a slope. You see, the problem is that there's a slope. The shadow should be on the on top of the cliff as well at the base of it. So let's turn off that shadow and let's go over several options that you have for doing this. There's a lot of different ways that you can make shadows. You can paint it on using a brush layer. You can use a object to do your layers. You could do whatever you want. I would say that the fastest and quickest way to do it, and this is the way that others have done it as well, is just to create a shadow layer and with a brush. So I would go over to my line and shapes. I'm going to go stamps right here. I'm going to go add layer. I'm going to go with brush layer. Let's go ahead and rename it right off the bat and just call it shadows. Right here. And you can use whatever color that you want for your shadows to be. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go with black, but you don't have to use black. Let's go with color, black. And there are a couple options here. What I want to do first is I'm going to go ahead and place, let's go ahead and use the right brush. I would recommend using this soft brush like this. And what I'll do here is I'm going to make some adjustments. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, go to layer options. I'm going to change that blend mode real quick. And let's see if we can change that blend mode. And then I'm also going to change the opacity like this as well. Let's go with right about there. Looks good. That looks good. Okay. And then I'm going to go with my eraser and I'm just going to go ahead and erase that. That looks good. Okay. Let's go back to our brush here. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I need to establish where a light source is. Now I'm not going to do a lot of cast shadows because right now there's not any cast shadows on the retaining walls or on the buildings. So why don't we just keep it simple? We'll just create a little bit of a shadow along the edge right here. That's a little too thick. So why don't we bring the shadow layer opacity down even more? Let's go with about there. And I'll go ahead and just kind of paint my shadow all along here like this. So I have a little bit of a shadow here like this. That looks good. Same thing here. I'll go ahead and paint a little bit of a shadow along this edge here, all along here as well. A little bit of a shadow there. And you'll notice that just that little bit of that shadow already makes it look like there's a little bit of a slope there because the shadow caused it to look like there's more of a slope. So cool little trick. You can use brush layers to create shadow work. So very helpful little trick there. Shadow there, shadow there. Let me see where else I missed it. One there, got that. And you know what? I'll just put a little bit of a shadow along the retaining wall as well, just to kind of give it a little bit of more depth without having to attach the shadow. That looks good. Same thing here. I'll go ahead and just paint some shadows here like this. Now, cool little trick that you can do if you want to show that there's still some roof remaining inside of your building. Right now, when you kind of look at it, you can't tell. It looks like the building's just completely broken. But if you want to have a section where there's still a roof, you can go in and just paint the internal part like this, a darker shape like this, a darker color. And what that will do is it will give it the illusion that there is a darker, that there's a roof there. This room right here has a collapse, so there's going to be more light here. But this room right here doesn't look like it's collapsed. So we might want to consider painting it a little bit of a darker to show that that part of the roof is not collapsed, right? So we can do that. What about right here? Let's have a little bit of the roof still open like this. And what I'll do is I'll create little sections. Same thing here. Let's say this part of the roof is still around. And then let's say there's a section of the roof that goes like this. It's still open like that. There we go. That looks good. And in this room right here, I think we could also add a little bit of shadow in here. We'll paint the whole thing in. And it's okay if you, because what I did is I let the opacity changes on the, you notice that the shadow, I did my opacity changes here instead of right here with the opacity. So this could be at 100%. And that's because they won't overlap. So when I paint on top of this section right here, it won't start overlapping on top of each other, because it's all the same opacity. That will kind of keep it from accidentally making a section too dark. So I'll go ahead and paint this as well. I'm going to go ahead and paint in this section here, just to show where there's wall. Here's a good section, right where that part broke open is a good section. Right here is a good section. Along here, Let's put another section right here. Here looks good. Along here looks good. Okay, let's add a little bit more here as well. That looks good. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a step back. Yep, it's coming together. Where are we at for time here? 12, perfect. Okay. All right. Well, there's still a couple more things that we have to do. For starters, we're going to need to populate the interiors a little bit with things. That won't take too long. We're just going to use some of the similar stamps, and then we're going to do mask effects. And then finally, we'll do filters to give it a more ruined look, and we'll go over that in just a moment. So let's first go with interiors. And what I'll do is I'll just type in broken, and I'll type in 2.0 just so it's broken 2.0 stamps, and I'll expand all assets. And there should be things like this broken table right here. This thing is broken. It's perfect. You notice it's the same brightness as a wall. I don't want to show that, so why don't we maybe make it a little bit darker? And I'll go ahead and place this stamp maybe. And what's really nice is when you're putting together a battle map, putting things like this right here, you could put it at the block an entrance to a door. You could use it as some kind of barricade. So there's people barricaded in this room. They're hiding behind this thing right here while attacking you. So that's a good place to add these fallen things. These are great things for your players to interact with. They can pick it up, throw it at them. The enemies can kick it at you, all these different things. So it's always nice to throw in like a broken table as like a barricade. We can also throw in like these broken table chairs where you would expect a broken chair or broken table. You might expect a broken chair or two. So let's go ahead and throw those. And while we're at it, why don't we throw a bunch of them? Let's throw them everywhere. We have it selected. So let's put one half in the light and half out. Let's put one broken one there. Let's place one here, here, and right there in that corner there. In fact, let's go down a layer so that it interacts with the shadow. Notice how it interacts with the shadow of the wall. Okay, let's keep adding more stuff. Let's put another one in there. Let's put a couple more in here. Let's put it half in the shadow and half out, because that always looks nice when you have something in shadow and one without. And we'll do the same thing here. Let's use a couple more of these tables here. Let's put another one on the outside, maybe like right here, like this. Let's place another one right here, like that. Let's place one in the shadow itself right there. That looks good. And then we'll keep adding more stuff. Oh, market 2.0, and I'm seeing some broken crates and barrels. Great choices. Let's throw in a couple broken crates and barrels. These things are great to add when you're trying to figure out what to fill your negative space with. Sometimes when you're working on a map, you're like, well, I don't know what else to put in here. Crates and barrels are great fillers. Use those. Let's go ahead and add a couple more in here. Let's add a crate right there. I notice that there's a wall segment right here that's kind of clicked. We'll go ahead and put those together. I'll show you another trick on how to connect these wall pieces because they look a little detached due to the shadows. I'll show you how to fix that shortly. Let's just keep adding in more of our crates and barrels. Just make sure that they're in the right layer. Let's go ahead and select all from this set. Go down a layer. Make sure that they're being affected by the shadows. That looks good. Okay, these two need to go down another layer as well. There we go. Let's just keep going through our broken section, see what else we have here. There's a broken piano. Here's this nice broken long table. This will work really well. Let's add this in a big open space. Put it right there like that. That looks good. I see some also more broken market. Let's put some baskets in here. Make sure it's set to the right layer as well. -2. I want them to be affected by the shadow of the wall, right? All right, where else do we have here? Ooh, our broken fireplaces. Are these 2.0? Yep, cool. And we'll go ahead and let's go ahead and create a fireplace section. So I'll go ahead and take that right there. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's at 0 degrees. And then I'm also going to take a wall segment like this. And I'm going to go ahead and place it up against here like this. Let's go ahead and let's go fix this shadow. It's a little odd. Real quick. This is going to represent a stone wall that's attached where the chimney is attached. So I'll go ahead and place that there. Let's go ahead and desaturate this one. a little bit more. I'll bring it in close like this. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and create group. Perfect. And then I'll go ahead and place the fireplaces where need be. So let's go move this one out of the way. And I want to put this up a layer above. There we go. So I got a fireplace segment right there. We'll copy and paste that. Put another fireplace segment in here somewhere. They're going to be different from where the original creator had them, but I think that's okay. So I'll go ahead and place that right on top right there like that. And then let me see here. Oh, let's put another one in here as well. Copy, paste, and we'll put it in this corner right here like this. And just to show that they're not exactly all the same, I'll go ahead and take this and just flip it like this so they're not all exactly the same. Another thing that you can do is to show that you have a fireplace flooring. You could take rubble or stone, I think, and there should be 2.0 stone. This one right here, stone floor. Let's go ahead and bring the opacity down or the brightness down a little bit. And we'll bring the size down a little bit. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just paint. Oopsie, that's the shadow layer, my bad. Let's go with foreground layer. There we go. And I'm just going to, oops, a little too big. Let's bring it a little bit smaller and bring the brightness back up. There we go. We'll put a little bit of stone at the base of the fireplace, just a little bit. That looks good. All right, let me take a step back. A little bit more stone right here. That looks good. Okay. All right. Yeah, that looks good. So far, it's coming together really, really well. I quite enjoy this map quite a bit. Let me just kind of go over the rest of it here. Let's go ahead and add in there's a little bit of a problem that you notice here with these stamps right here. You have a couple options. You could put it down a layer to where it's underneath, but you see that there's some shadow underneath. So if that doesn't work for you, that's okay. There is a core stamp, I believe, right? Let me see if I can find that real quick. It's this one, right? Let me see if I can find it. What is this? Wooden. Let me type in wooden real quick. Wooden core. Let me try that. Where? There they are right there. Core. Okay. And we're going to place these a layer on top to wherever these connect with the walls like this. And I'll go ahead and change the shadow as well. There we go. I want to add a little bit of intensity to the shadow so that it kind of pops out. And then wherever the wall connects, you're going to hide those inconsistencies. Another great place for these connectors is in the corners. So I'll place one in each corner here. That will also look really nice. Wherever your walls connect, this is a good place to put these because it can look a little odd. So I'll place these here like this. That looks good. We'll put one in this corner right here as well. I see some weird connections right here, so we'll go ahead and fix that. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. There we go. Just wherever you see those sections. That looks good. Oop, another section right here, which looks a little funky. There we go. That looks good. Oh, some inner walls here. Let's fix that. There we go. Copy, paste. There we go. That should kind of put it together a little bit better. And also, it hides the strange corner. Notice how this line right here kind of goes over the line work of the one next to it. You can just go right on top and just hide it. It's a great way to kind of hide any mistakes that you might have in your corners. So see how I have another corner mistake right here? Let's go ahead and just copy and paste that. Place these here. That looks good. Let me just take a step back and look at it. Cool. All right, those came together really nicely. All right, we'll let that save. Let's go ahead and finish up the last bit of the stuff here, which I think what we'll do is I want to add a little bit more detail. There's still a lot of negative space with the green. And so what I'll do is I think I'll throw in just a little bit of grass just to make it look a little bit more interesting. So there's this really nice grass texture right here. And why don't we use this tall grass right here? I think this will work really well. We'll bring the scale down a little bit. And then it's an alpha texture. And what I'll do is wherever I see some grass, I'll just kind of paint this grass right in those negative spaces. So that way I have a little bit more contrast. So I'll go ahead and paint in some grass here, 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 all in here. And this will kind of fill in some of the negative space. and it will contrast with a darker, tall grass color. We'll go and place some here. That looks good. Some taller grass. Okay, let's go ahead and just place all of this kind of grass here. This will kind of give it a little bit more. You see now that those negative spaces have some darker elements to it. Should stick out a little bit more, look a little bit nicer. There we go. Why don't we also create a little bit more transition with the sand? Let's go type in sand. And we want to create a sandbar, what's called a sandbar. And we'll use one that doesn't have, doesn't specifically have the waves in it. So we'll use this sand right here. Oh, that's a whip. Let's not use that. My bad. This desert sand right here. Let's try using a different brush. Instead of using dirt brush, let's use the cloudy brush instead. This works well for water as well. I'll bring that opacity down, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of paint in a little bit of sand in here like this. Just kind of paint in a little bit of sand here, a little bit here. And I'm just going to single click. And right now I'm kind of using a pen. I'm not using my brush right now. I'm using a pen. And I'm just going to get this kind of cloudy kind of effect when I'm trying to add in the sand here. So just a little bit of cloudy effect here. There we go. Yeah, the new brushes are fabulous. Let's add another sandbar right here as well. We'll just kind of continue on the sandbar thing here. So a couple strokes. Don't forget to do some single clicks just to kind of break it up a little bit. That looks good. A little bit of see there's some sandbar right here. Let's go ahead and do that as well. A little bit of a sandbar all along here. Here we go. Just kind of single click your way. And the way that I do it is the texture has the most opacity to it. Is what's closest to the water, right? And the furthest you get away from the water, the more the texture begins to fade. So let me go over this real quick. Let me show you. Let's go over a full 100% over this section right here like this. Then bring the opacity down to around 50. And then go in and start creating another layer. Then single click to break up or diffuse that line so that you have some nice texturing there. There we go. We'll go ahead and paint those in. That looks good. Let me take a step back just to make sure that I have it looking good. There we go. Let's also paint the water with a new 2.0 texture core water. Let's go use core 2.0. Let's use this one. We'll switch over to the background. I'm just going to go ahead and paint 100%, fill this in with the new texture. There we go. That looks good. When you're painting in water texture, cool trick. The lighter the water texture, the shallower the water. The darker the water color is, the deeper the water is. So I can take that exact same water texture that I had right there, go to tweak colors and just bring the brightness down like this. And I'll go ahead and bring the opacity down quite a bit. Still use that cloudy brush. And where you want to have deeper sections, where the water is deeper, go ahead and just paint in the center part where it would probably be deepest, the darker section. So right here's a good section to paint in some darker color here. That looks good. That looks good. So this represents a deeper water. We can do the exact same thing. Let's go ahead and bring the brightness up and then just put a little bit of the brighter color along the edge here to kind of represent this like brighter texture. There we go. That looks good. Okay, that looks good. Let me also go in. I see some text here. Let's go ahead and delete that text right there. We don't need that. Let me go ahead and take a step back. I'm going to let it auto-save for a moment, and then we'll go over just a couple more things. We're going to want to go over mask effects, and then we're also going to want to go over filters. Oh yeah, Celegorm, let us know in the chat what the lore is with the roses, the red flowers in the tree, because that is interesting, and it really is kind of the focal point. When you look at the whole map, you have these bright, warm color, red against the green here. I'm assuming this tree has some kind of importance because technically, for me at least, that is the focal point of the whole map, because you have that deep, rich, very high saturated red against that light green color. So I'm hoping that that particular location on the map has some importance, because for now, that's the focal point. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and add in the mask effects. So if I go over to land shape over here, right click, you'll notice enable mask effects. So some great effects that work really well is, well, the first thing I would do is I would turn off, or I would change the stroke maybe to a white color. So white. And then I would also bring the opacity down quite a bit as well, so it's not that really thick. And you'll notice that it kind of creates this white around the edge there. Let's also turn off ripples. We don't need ripples. And instead of actually using stroke, let's actually use, let's use outer shadows instead. We'll use the white. So we have this white outer shadow. Let's bring the intensity up. There we go. Bring the intensity up a little bit more. And why don't we use a lighter blue color? This might look a little bit more interesting if we do it that way. Let's go a little bit more into the green. And then let's maybe bring the intensity down a little bit. There we go. That looks a little better. Let's deal with the inner shadows to show that there is some slope to where those, if you want to show that there's some kind of slope to those sandbanks right there, why don't we cause the inner shadow to go out a little bit more? So I'll bring the blur up like this, up, bring it up even more. And then let's bring the intensity up just a little bit. And you're noticing what this is doing is it's creating a sense of slope. Remember that one trick we talked about, contrast, when I painted in a little bit of the black to create contrast with these cliffs right here? It's the same concept. I'm using that dark inner shadow to create this illusion of a slope, right? So that's very, very helpful. So now when I look at the map, it kind of looks like there's a slope going on right there. And that is very, 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 very helpful. Let's go ahead and add just for fun, why don't we add just a couple details to the water? Because right now we have this beautiful river or creek right here, but I would expect there'd be a little bit more action going on in the water and around it. So let's do a couple things. One, wherever you have water, you have a lot of vegetation. So why don't we actually have why don't we replace some of our sandbars with a couple things? One, let's have one embankment with a ton of vegetation. Let's have another bank with some rocks. And then let's also add some small waterfalls as well, and maybe some river rocks, because we want to cause this to pop out just a little bit more, because right now it's just a little flat, and that's okay. Let's go ahead and add some stuff. So one thing we want to do is let's add some vegetation around a block. Let's see here. Because this is the entrance to the camp right here, let's leave this a sandbar, which would make sense, because that's where you would put dock your boat, right? As a sandbar. So let's type in a boat, just to remind myself that I don't accidentally erase the sandbar here. We're going to put some boats along here. Put them, if you want to show that they're grounded, put them here. You want to show they're in the water, have halfway like that if you want, whichever you think is best. And then right here, why don't we put some vegetation right here instead of having a sandbar. So I'll go ahead and replace this. A little bit of grass here. And then what I'll do is I'll take some grass, this tall grass right here, and I'm going to rotate it to where it's kind of facing towards the water a little bit, like this. And then I'll go ahead and just kind of place this darker vegetation all along here like this. And then I'll take that other grass texture, this tall grass texture, I'll rotate it, and then I'll go ahead and just place a little bit along this edges to create some transition between the grasses. So I'll go ahead and put a little bit of grass here, a little bit of grass here. There we go. So now we have this nice grass section right here. And you can also even throw in some grass stamps to make it pop out a little bit more, because right now the grass lines stop at the edge there. That seems really unnatural. So why don't we throw in some grass? And I'm going to use grass from a different style. I kind of prefer the grass from the Fantasy Regional style. And I'll take this grass right here. I'm going to go ahead and set it up to where it's the same kind of color as the grass that's right in front of me. So let's go over to hue, I got that grass color there. Let's go ahead and bring the brightness down just a hair, just so it kind of matches. Bring that contrast, the saturation down a little bit. And I'm going to take this grass and I'm going to have it overlapping a little bit here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because that's exactly what you would expect. You would expect some overlap from the grass. And so I'll go ahead and place just a couple here, just to, it doesn't look really odd. There we go, a little bit of grass, just overlap. Let's turn off auto rotate or random rotate. That's not going to help me any good. Help me any bit. There we go. Okay, now we have some nice grass on that ledge there. And why don't we continue on that grass going all along this edge right here as well? So let's do that. I'll go ahead and fill this up with the regular grass. That looks good. I'll go ahead and take my tall grass segment and just kind of place it all along this edge here. That looks good. And then again, I'll take those stamps and we're going to, again, create some overlap because, again, it would just not look like that. It would be really odd if you had some of that there. So this should help to kind of break that up. Yep, there's also the line tool grass. That works just fine too. There's a lot of different techniques. The great thing about Inkarnate is there's no wrong way. There's so many different ways that we can do this, and it's what makes it more fun. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to do it to all these ledges as well. And then that way we'll cause the sandbar over here to pop out. The great thing is there is no wrong way. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do it. I think in another video, when I do another remake, we'll use the line tool instead. And that works perfect. I love the line tool. It works so, so well. Let's go ahead and pump this up with some grass right here. And we'll do this again. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get this sandbar to pop out from these other sections right here. So it's clear where you dock your boats at. So this is why I'm kind of doing that. I want to make it clear to the players, oh, hey, this is where you dock your boat. So by doing this, we have it very clear, and it just adds this nice grass effect here. Let's do good. Let's also, let's create a little bit more transition here. Let's go ahead and create a little bit more transition along here like that. That looks better. A little more transition here with creating some grass patches. Even going into the sand a little bit would be a good idea. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, that looks good. So far, so good. I really enjoy this so far. Okay, I think there's only one thing left to do, and that is to do our a filter of some kind to give it a little bit more more ruin to it. And the way that I would go about doing that is go to line. Let's go to the top layer here, which is the line and shapes. I'm gonna go add layer. We're gonna go to filter layer, and then if you go over to texture filters, go plus. And then go into the catalog here. Let's go to click the Inkarnate tag. This way every filter is going to pop up. Oh, love the lore. Yeah, good stuff. I'll be reading more of that at the end of the stream. And then I know there's also, we're going to do a real quick Q&A too. Someone who had a question, and I'll get to that. If you're still here, make sure to punch in your question at the end here. Let's go ahead and use old paper. Now, because this filter is not a default filter for this style, you'll have to adjust the blend mode and just go ahead and pick overlay. Okay, and overlay is going to add a bunch of more grime and dirt. So notice carefully when I turn this off, you see the difference. This is what it looks like with it off. This is what it looks like with it on. And what it does is it adds a little bit of dirt and grime to it, which is what you would expect, right? This is a ruined location, so you're going to expect a lot of dirt and grime and stuff to be around. Let's take a look here. Let's look good. All right. I think that dirt and grime should be enough. I think that's good. Let's go ahead and do a quick Q&A. If people have any questions, let me know in the chat, and then we'll call it good. I think, honestly, overall, this turned out really well. This is a really nice map, by the way, Celegorm. Very cool map. Really enjoyed kind of getting through it and putting in all the stamps and adding all the shadowing. Lots of cool things that you can do. with it. So I hope all of these techniques will kind of help you with, one, converting your 1.0 map with the 2.0 art, as well as remember to always use shapes and the line tool, because the shapes and the line tool have the portals, which allows you to do non-destructive breaks to your line. That's going to be important. So we converted everything. And then we also did our details. So when I put it together, remember, if you ever have a broken wall section, we need to know where that wall section went, right? If you have an open wall section and there's no rubble there, well, how did that wall fall apart and where did it go, right? So by throwing in rubble, whether it's rock or wood, it kind of conveys to the player, hey, the wall collapsed and fell apart, and here's where it fell apart. And that is very, very helpful. And then we also replaced all of our art, 1.0 art with 2.0 art, which is very helpful. Yeah, you did a great job. It turned out really good. I think the original version and this one, I think they turned out really well. Super cool map. I really, really like it.